My name is Evelyn Van Raemdonck, and I'm 24. I turned 24 2 weeks ago, so hard to remember. And I'm from Leuven. I studied at the Catholic University of Leuven also, and I graduated last year in law. Right now, I'm a PhD student at the law faculty in Leuven. And the first semester of this year, I went to Washington, D.C. as an exchange student from the KU Leuven. And in August, I'll leave for the States again, but this time to complete an LLM at University of Virginia. Well, it was actually a bit of a process. I knew for sure that I wanted to do an LLM because I think it's important. Law is a very national system, or so it is perceived as a national system. But there's so many of the fundamentals and the background of the idea of a legal system, which is actually international. Also, I want to work in possibly an international law firm. So I knew I wanted to have an external input besides just Belgian law. And then for me, the decision was between the United Kingdom or the United States, because I want to specialize in corporate and economic law, and the common law countries are very strong in that field. And then, in all honesty, I first applied for the UK, and I got in a couple of really good schools, and then all of a sudden I changed my mind and decided that I wanted to go to the States because I think because of the culture. Maybe, because people are more open. There's more international students. I knew that I could possibly fit in more, and because it's very prestigious. I think still for a lot of the international law firms, it's still more prestigious to go to the States. The application process? Burdensome, I would say, especially as an international student, because you have to get certification of all your transcripts. And you have to pay for these certification systems. A lot of the law schools use LSAC, which is like a monopoly for certifying transcripts and sending these to schools. And it was all so foreign to me. I didn't know it. I had to pay online. I had to tick all these boxes. So at first, I was a bit scared and it was daunting. But I'm glad that I just did it, because in the end, the first law school is the hardest. If you apply for 4 or 5, you know, once you've done 2, you know the drill, and then afterwards, if I would do it again, it's not that hard. First of all, through Fulbright, they're helping me out, and then I've got a partial tuition waiver from the university I'm going to also, so that almost adds up to covering all the costs. And then obviously I have to, you know, appeal to my savings and my parents, but it will be bearable thanks to both Fulbright and UVA. No, actually not, especially in comparison to the law schools. Applying to Fulbright was not that hard. You have to write a bit of your statement and your objectives and personal reasons for wanting to go to the US, but at the time you're applying for Fulbright, you've been thinking about why you want to do this for about half a year, so the ideas really have crystallized in your head by the time you have to apply for Fulbright. And the people are nice. The jury interview was actually not stressful at all. And so no, all in all, very good experience with Fulbright. Start on time, really, to start on time. I was sort of procrastinating. And then the deadlines for the law schools came, so I had to quickly take care of all the stuff for the law schools, but then the deadline for Fulbright was there, and then it seemed like there was no end. But I think if you have the discipline to start during summer holiday, start during your break in July and August, decide which schools you want to go to, whether you want to apply for Fulbright, whether you want to apply for BAEF, these kind of things, then you really have a step ahead. Well, I think especially that it gets your foot through the door. I don't think that doing an LLM in the States makes you a better person or a smarter person, even though it obviously broadens your experience and your knowledge. But if you have to apply for example, a law firm, and they get 200 applications, the ones who's got an LLM from a nice law school, they will get their foot through the door. They will possibly be able to go to an interview faster, be invited over easier. And I think that's important. But also because you possibly create a connection with other people on the work floor who've also done an LLM, and you've got this connection point, and you've both been to the States. I think that'll make it easier. And also for several cases, I've already done a 3-month internship with Ellen & Overy. And in some of the cases, you notice that there's this international aspect, and it's an international firm going to the stock market, there's an IPO. You need to know not only about Belgian law, they might want to go to Wall Street. So these kind of, a little step ahead again, I think. But not indispensable. I don't believe that an LLM in the US is indispensable. It's a really nice asset. Yeah. Also in the academic field, if I can add that, because I'm still thinking about possibly going to do a PhD after I return, instead of going straight to a law firm. And I'm sure that not just a broadened knowledge, but also a broadened experience with research. I think US law schools focus more on research than Belgian universities might.